Why do we baptize infants?
In the book of Acts chapter 2, when St. Peter talks about how we have to repent and be baptized, he says the promise is to you and to your children. There's this idea of the household that we see in the book of Acts and also in 1 Corinthians. And it's a language that's being borrowed from the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, when it talks about circumcision, it speaks of the household, everyone in the household being circumcised, which includes the male child. So the word household, especially in the ancient world, it's an extended family. Mom, dad, aunts, uncles, nephews, nieces, right? Children. The oldest and the youngest, right? All of them are going to be involved in this experience of God. So that's an example, this idea of households being baptized. Additionally, in the book of Colossians, St. Paul talks about how we were circumcised without hands through baptism. So baptism is being equated to circumcision. We understand that in the Old Testament, circumcision was the way in which you entered the covenant. Clearly, the commandment is that babies have to be circumcised as well. Can they consent, per se? Can they intellectually understand, put their trust in the God of Abraham and enter the covenant? No. But can they experience this idea of entering the covenant? Yes. Because they have a heart and they have a body. So because of that, they're circumcised. The same thing applies to the New Testament. Baptism is the entrance to the new covenant. Can a baby say, yes, I do? No. Can he experience regeneration? Yes, he has a nous, he has a heart, he has a body. So he can experience baptism as well. And it's important for us to understand that, again, we put ourselves in a very tough spot if we say that you have to have some kind of intellectual capability in order to be able to be baptized, because there's a lot of people that don't have that. And so what about them, right? Christ says, don't hinder the children from coming to me. St. Irenaeus, he talks about how Christ came to save us in every stage of life. So he becomes a baby to save babies, he becomes a teenager to save teenagers, he becomes an adult to save adults. St. Gregory of Nyssa talks about how a mother should not be scared of baptizing her child in the water. He says, you shouldn't delay baptism because it gives the child an opportunity to grow up in the Spirit, to grow up and enjoy all the privileges of being a child of God. So because of this, we baptize children.